this set up here. Hello, everybody. Gosh, I better move this or I'm going to strangle myself talking to you. Okay, guys, this is I don't know how to do these regular videos. I'm trying to figure it out on my phone. And so that I can stop doing these live videos and then we can do live ones later when we get people that want to follow a little more. Um, this is a follow-up from my first live video I did. I just read these forums and I decided I need to give just some little hacks with ALS. If you have ALS, that'll make your journey a little better. I would go way back to things that I was having that I think were related to my ALS. My ALS was a little weird the way it started. It was more internally. There's a muscle and a nerve. I can't even remember the name. It's some big name, aren't they all? And it can be affected by anyone, and it can also be affected with some of us with ALS. It's kind of rare, but it does happen. And even if it doesn't, it's made me aware of how ALS can affect different internal organs. They say it doesn't affect your heart, it doesn't, but it does because if certain muscles are affected in your system, it affects those organs inside you. Okay, that's only common sense. So mine started probably about, gosh, 10 years ago is when I started having issues, okay? And they actually started with my heart. Um, I was in Iowa at the time, and something weird happened. I was on my computer messing around, and all of a sudden, I couldn't even feel my arm anymore. It's just kind of, it's like, wow, what's going on with my arm here? And I went and laid down, and the next morning it was still weird. My blood pressure and heart was off the charts. I called up and they ended up taking me to Iowa City even. And I tried to tell those people I've always been super sensitive to all meds. Um, my dad had ALS, I have ALS. We sit and we shake our leg all the time, like leg syndrome. I don't know. It's just there. We do it. We don't even think about doing it. I mean, he's passed with his, but he did that. And I always said I inherited his leg kicking. Well, in more ways than one, because I have that C9 that he had and an ALS2 gene in me. And so, anyway, they put me in a room. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. And they tried to give me nitro under my tongue, and I kept telling her, no, I don't think that's a good idea, just from my experience. And they almost killed me, giving me a nitro. They come in, they run in, they put me on IVs, they turned the black light out, and I started praying to God. And I honestly think that's my first, well, not my first, but one of my times that God pulled me out of the gutters of hell, I guess you might say. And so then they did all these tests, they did everything. They brought in other doctors. They said, "We can't find anything wrong with your heart and why your blood pressure would do that." They tried everything. There was no blockages, there was nothing. And anyway, they had me, I was doing better then, and so then I went back home. And this happened over and over and over where I would get these and I'd be fine, my blood pressure would be fine, everything would be great, and then I would all of a sudden, it would go off the charts, okay? And after going to I don't know how many hospitals, I happened to go into a hospital one night or in Kingman, Arizona. And of course, they kept me overnight because my heart was, and I told them, I said, I have a strong heart or I wouldn't be here today, you know. And they ended up sending me to a heart doctor, heart doctor. He wanted to put a pacemaker in me because my heart was doing so many weird things. And I said, no. I said, I don't think I have a heart problem. I said, it just feels to me like something else is causing this. I tell you, God has been awesome with me of giving me insights on stuff. Um, so I didn't do that. And that was probably 8 years ago when things were starting to really ramp up with me with my ALS. During this time too, I've always had chronic asthma, but I've done wonderful with my asthma because I did not do steroids. I did take the albuterol if I couldn't breathe. And even I'm more holistic approach on my health. I always have been, but I will use modern medicines. And they told me that my pulmonary guy years ago told me, he said, I've never had an asthmatic, chronic asthmatic do as well as you do. And I said, because I didn't do your steroids. I relied on my own immune system. So I guess, with ALS, let's talk about the heart thing. It can affect your heart and your blood pressure. Mine is extremely erratic. I have more trouble with that than anything else with my ALS. I went into the doctor when I went in to see my new cancer doctor. My blood pressure was something like 220 over 148. Figure that one out. And they just about went crazy. And I said, no. I said, I have like an albuterol with a water in it pill, and I'm trying to get doctors to give me that, and my gosh, it's the only thing that'll stop this for me. None of the other blood pressure pills will do that. And I just said, just a minute, and I carry those with me. I took a half of one of those. And by the time I got home, my blood pressure was down to 118 over 70. And now it's been fine again. And so I challenge with this all the time. And I guess what I'm telling you is with ALS, you have to really get in sync with your body, not what the run of the mill ALS affects us all so different, but you have to listen to your body. And one thing I will tell you is energy, okay? The fatigue. Um, I couldn't, I think I told you in the other thing that I had gotten ALS. I had the fatigue. Then when I got COVID, oh my God, I couldn't even get out of my bed for 2 years. I was lucky if I could get up and crawl into the bathroom. Okay. It was horrible. And I was still, I started on that THC and hemp in the beginning to keep myself out of a wheelchair because I found that lady that was 30 years later still alive doing this, and I'm still not in a wheelchair. I walk. Now, I don't walk far because, with a weak diaphragm, my heart and blood pressure, if I overdo it all, everything goes wah, 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 wah. I call it ramping. So I have to be very careful and very creative in living my life and keeping the fun that I want to have. And I'm doing so much better than other people that the system does work, I have to say. So, one thing I do, I go over to the casino and I can walk around there. If I need to sit down, if I feel a little tired, I sit down and then I play that machine. And I can get like a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles. And it's helping my lungs a little bit, but it's very, very low impact. Okay. Little things make such a big difference with ALS. If you do something you shouldn't, it'll cause a big thing. If you're careful, and like if I'm careful, that's a big thing because I did that little thing of being careful. Now I don't have all these side effects like cramping feet, cramping legs, my heart going crazy, my oxygen dropping. That's what happens to me with my ALS, okay? People look at me and, I get up in the morning, I say, okay, am I Pippi Longstockings? Am I the Tin Man? Am I the Cowardly Lion? Am I the Scarecrow? Usually my walking is one of those. Some days it's better, just like my breathing on my machine. You can see my ramping. I go 3 days, I'm down, 3 days, up 3 days. That's how I'm cycling right now. It's strange. And I had that breast surgery, and when I come home, I started having a few more. I mean, the breast surgery went great, but my ALS was like I started losing weight again. I had more phlegm again. I noticed my walking was a little more slower and my foot dragging a little bit more than it usually does. And so I looked up some stuff and then I thought, oh crap, I've always heard that, but I didn't believe it. That if you have any kind of trauma to your body, surgery, if you fall down, anything, it can cause you to go into a ramp mode kind of. It makes your ALS worse. So right now I'm kind of battling with these little things. I have to take my vitals a little more. Like yesterday, gosh, I ate a bowl of ice cream. I ate a whole candy bar. I think I ate 2 hamburgers. I was trying to not lose any more weight, and I still lost overnight. So I'm a little concerned and fighting with this right now, but we're gonna go over to the casino today, and they're gonna have, I call it a cruise ship dinner. They're dinners they have at the casino for some of us, and you can pick the food you want. I love buffets because I can't eat everything, and I can pick what I can eat, and sometimes I try new things to see if I choke or not when I eat them. But that's another thing on your eating. I'm not going to get a feeding tube. I'm more natural. I don't want invasive breathing. I just want to put my BiPAP on and go to sleep and meet my Lord. That's kind of my plan. And in the meantime, I'll be here on this earth to help those I can. And I truly believe that every day is a new day and a new adventure. We have to live that way. And also, we are born on a certain day for a reason, and God calls us home on a certain day. But God also gives us little prompts of what to do to take care of ourselves. I mean, even my hemp and stuff, it was my mom's breast cancer, and then I had anxiety so bad after she passed, and I just took her little gummies. I'd never taken this stuff, and it really helped my anxiety. And then when I found that lady, I thought, okay, I'm going to start out really tiny and start. And like I said, I'm now up to a half a gummy and a whole hemp. And I haven't went up from that dose. One thing, I mean, my stuff I take probably costs me I probably spend a couple $100 a month for all my stuff, and all I take for my ALS is these THC and hemp gummies. And then I have an old antibiotic, sulfaxin, and that antibiotic, what I kind of think happens, this is my theory, just having this ALS and my experience, the saliva I noticed would get in my voice box. My voice would get super raspy, get in my lungs. I'm coughing. I would take this sulfaxin for maybe a day or two only. And you know what? I wasn't coughing as much. My voice got better. So I have a theory that in ALS, that this phlegm that ALS creates, it can get in your nose, it can get in your ears, it goes in your voice box, causes infections. Like I think that's why we lose our voice with ALS. Is I agree the muscles, may die around there too, but I think like for me, if I didn't take that antibiotic, I probably wouldn't be talking today. In fact, when they almost 8 years ago, when they diagnosed me, or I mean, I've had ALS 8 years, but I got my final diagnosis about 7 years ago. They sent me to a speech gal, and she was having didn't think I'd have my voice, and then I started taking my meds more then, and I come back in and she says, "Your voice is better today." And I told her what I did, and she says, "Oh dear." She says, "Maybe you don't need me." And I'm still talking 8 years later. So this did work for me. Okay. I don't know if it'll work for you, but you know what? This is the thing with ALS. We are going to die 1 to 2 to 3 years to 5 years, the doctors tell us. I'm more holistic. I'm not going to have any doctor tell me when I'm going to die. God knows when I'm going to die. He's going to take me home when I die. But that's probably an average. If they'd say the average person had so far has done that, that I would understand. But don't tell me that I have a timeline, a doctor. Never. And then don't let any doctor tell you guys that. Okay. And um I don't know. I've been sent home to die so many times and I'm still here. And I truly believe get in sync with your body. And I think I said too, I have never had an accident. I don't have a lot of feeling down there and in my stomach. So going to the bathroom is one of my biggest adventures I have during the day. Oh, it's like, "Oh, Lord, help me through this," is kinda what I do, but what I do is I get up, I drink a whole glass of water, and then I go in and sit on the pot, and I've trained my body to pee, okay? And that works. I mean, it's amazing how you can get your mind and body in sync. And with the ALS, have a little routine in the morning. I always have this with my water and I have this with my coffee next to me when I set. Now I do set, I mean, I live in that little trailer. I don't I do a little bit, I take care of myself. I do a little bit of housework and it wears me out. I mean, it's I have ALS and but I just do a little housework. If I get tired, I stop. I might do a little more tomorrow, but I don't have that much to take care of. I set up my computer and I have this beautiful mountain area out there. I have big windows all around where I have my computer set. So I can see everybody outside. I can see the beautiful sky and mountains, activity. I never feel alone. I'm not depressed. It's very holistic for me to look at the mountains, and I can tell even how the weather is. I've looked at them so much on the mountains. But I will come back again. Also, these things again, I said this IMAX smart glove is awesome because your ALS starts in here and it starts here. And I still look at and so what I have found, ALS does not like cold. It likes the warm, but not too hot. And it likes light pressure, very light pressure. And that stimulates the muscles and nerves, I think. Um, I don't know, guys. I'm just giving you some things that I am doing that has kept me alive. And I still say God, prayers, my BiPAP, THC, and hemp is my main things that have kept me alive. But there's little things like if you want to go out, rest a couple days, and then go out and have fun that day. But don't overdo. And how do you know you overdo? Because you're going to go home and you're going to cramp and everything's going to go crazy on you if you overdo. So you learn real fast. It's like little kids. You spank them when they're naughty, they learn real fast. Well, we're kind of like that. We're naughty if we try to overdo on our poor diseased body, and then our diseased body screams at us. And I am so analytical with my ALS and my body that if I come home and I cramp a little bit, I want to know why. And I stop and think. And then I thought, okay, like one thing I did, I can walk from casino to casino. And I was scared to do that the first time if I everything would go crazy on me, but I could figure it out. I could walk from this casino to this casino, then walk to the next casino. Then I come back and stop at the other casino, and I can do that. Well, one time I felt, okay, let's see if I can walk from the third casino back to the first casino. I had cramps in my legs and feet all night. So, I can't do that, but I can do my other thing. So, what I'm telling you is just make little changes, try to figure out what you're doing that caused that. If I like I ate a piece of toast one day and I choked, and my granddaughter says, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know you choked that bad, Grandma." And I said, "Well, this is the first time I've ever had crust that I choked on." So I said, "I won't eat toast with crust. I'll eat the middle, but I won't eat the crust." And so that's what I do. I don't eat things that stick in my throat. I don't eat things that, even my grapes. I love grapes. They're good for you, but I spit the skins out. I chew them up to try to get the minerals out of them, and then I spit the skins out so they don't stick in there because I can't get them out. Um, okay, the other thing is make sure ALS robs your potassium. That can cause your heart to go crazy too. That's what they found out was causing my heart things too, was I was low in potassium. So keep your potassium good. You put a little Pedialyte in your water. I eat a little piece of chocolate every day that's got potassium in it. I do Pedialyte a few times a week, but I only use maybe 1/4 Pedialyte and the rest water. That seems to work perfect. And magnesium, you get low in magnesium and also vitamin D, I noticed. So ALS does strip your body of vitamins that can cause all kinds of more problems. So try to get your blood work and keep your vitamins set up. And um, I, I was wasting too much energy on my hair, so I went and got a permanent. Gosh, it just made such a difference and it gave me more energy to do more other things. That's what I mean. You have like a glass of water a day, and if you use it all up in the morning, you're going to be wiped out all day. But if you kind of slowly and you start getting creative on how to save energy, that's what I've done. I even get dressed once in the day. Like I'm dressed to go across the river already, and it was like 9:30 when I got dressed, but look at the energy I saved just to get dressed then, and then I'll put on my pajamas tonight, and I saved a little more energy because I'm going out today. Where if I changed 3 times before I went out, I'd be worn out by the time I got there. So, anyway, I've rattled enough today, but I'll get back. Oh, I will update you. I switched cancer doctors. I'm not saying these other doctors weren't good, but one doctor is not holistic at all. The other doctor, he was all down on marijuana, and I've been on it 6.5 years, 7 years, and it's helping me. And so God had I had ended up with several referrals, so I went with the other referral, and I absolutely love this new cancer doctor. In fact, he's sending in some more tests on the tumor they took out of me because he realizes I have ALS and he wants to do the least thing that's going to affect my ALS. So he's doing that for me. So if something like that would happen to you guys, make sure you get a doctor that takes into consideration you have ALS because everything affects us. I mean, like I read side effects to one of the meds for cancer. My God, it's what we go through every day. It's our symptoms with ALS. Why would I take that drug and make it worse? You know what I'm saying? So, just be a little proactive and keep you know, keep your senses on keeping things slow. Like I go upstairs and downstairs, but I walk extremely slow. But you know what? I can do it. I can get up there to see my concerts. That makes me happy. And I get a little exercise. So, hope this helps you. And my heart goes out to all of you that have ALS or cancer or any kind of a disease. I hope this helps. And prayers go out to all of you and praise God for what He's doing. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.